Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. So today's video is going to be a little vinyasa flow. For some of you, you will have been coming to my in-person classes, and we've been doing this flow over the last couple of months, trying to get used to it, make it feel natural. Obviously, it's lockdown at the moment. Well, it might not be obvious to you because I don't know when you're watching this video, but at the moment of me filming this, we are in lockdown, so there are no in-person classes. Hopefully you're watching this in the future where there is no lockdown, or maybe there's no pandemic. How wonderful might that be? So we're going to go through the different elements of the flow, and then put it together with a few modifications, and then I'll do another video where you'll just have the flow without all the added explanations and everything. So you can pick and choose which video you want to follow. So with vinyasa, it's about that movement between the asanas. So I recommend not getting too bogged down in the detail. Don't worry too much about if your foot is in the correct place, if you miss a pose out, if your breath slightly goes in a different direction to what I am saying. It's all fine, but just see if you can draw your awareness into that flow of movement between the poses, trying to create that connection between the mind and the body and the breath. There's a great Taoist saying or idea called Wu Wei, which sometimes translates as effortless action, which I think is quite a nice thing to apply to a vinyasa flow. See it as effortless action, so finding the path of least resistance. That doesn't mean it's not going to challenge you sometimes. It doesn't mean that it's going to be super easy, but it's finding the best way for you to flow through things. So instead of finding the hardest way, find the best way for you. I hope that makes sense. So that being said, we will have a little warm up first, and then I will go through the different sections of the vinyasa, and then we'll put it all together. So come to standing on your mat, taking a moment to connect into the body, connect into the breath. You can lower the gaze or close the eyes. With the eyes closed, just thinking about how you're standing. Is the weight even between both feet? Even between front and back? Legs straight but not locking out the knees, so there's just that gentle bend in the knees. Tailbone slightly tucked under. Shoulders down and back. Chin slightly down so the back of the neck is nice and long. I'm just noticing how you feel within yourself. No judgment, no expectation, but just awareness of how you feel in this moment. Letting the awareness settle onto the breath. Noticing how that breath flows through the body. If you can, trying to breathe through the nose. And imagine sending that breath all the way down to the belly. Then with an inhale, we're going to take the arms out and up. Exhale, turn the palms to face out, stretch into the space around. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, stretch into the space around. This time, inhaling, reach the arms out and up. Then with your exhale, have a nice bend in the knees and we'll fold forward over the legs. So just nice and gentle for now. Have that good bend in the knees. Weight slightly forwards towards the toes. Hands can be on the legs. You can come to halfway. Any blood pressure issues, heart issues, this can be better for you to be halfway. Or hands can be on the shins, ankles, or down on the mat. Whatever works best for you. Listen to your own body. Great. And with a little inhale, we'll take the arms out and up. Draw yourself all the way back up to standing. Exhale, bring the hands down to prayer in front of the heart. Fantastic. Inhale, take those arms out and up again. Exhale, folding forward. See if you can straighten through the legs a little bit this time. Maybe rock the weight back and forwards. Find that even weight between both front and back, left and right. Notice how it feels when the weight is even. And then shift the weight forward slightly towards the toes. See how that stretch increases as you shift the weight forward. Then again, inhale, take the arms out and up as you draw yourself all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands down to prayer in front of the heart. Fantastic. One more time. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale, folding forward. Lovely. This time we're going to pop the left hand down between the feet. I will mirror, reaching up with the right hand. Left hand can always be on the left leg instead, if that's better. Trying to look up towards that right hand, finding a twist through the spine. Exhale and lower. So right hand down, reach up with the left, looking towards the left leg. Looking towards the left leg, honestly. Looking towards the left hand. Try and have a bit of a bend in the right knee, straighten through the left. And we'll do that again. So bringing left hand down between the feet or onto the left leg. Bend into the left knee, straighten through the right as you look up towards that right hand. Exhale and lower. Bend into the right knee. Right hand down, reaching up with the left, looking towards the left hand. Exhale and lower. Coming back to that forward fold. Weight even between both feet. Slightly forward towards the toes. Think about the crown of the head heading down towards the mat. And then nice bend in the knees. Take the arms out and up. Draw yourself all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands down to prayer in front of the heart. Fantastic. So, the first pose that we will have in our flow is dancer's pose. So let's go over a few options for dancer pose. Now, if you're feeling super wobbly, you can always practice this pose holding on to a mantelpiece or a wall or a chair. But obviously when we're in the flow, you'll want to be on your mat. So if we can find an option for you that is on your mat, then that's even better. So we'll start by taking the weight into, again, I'll mirror you, into our right foot. Taking the left toes just behind us. So the knees not going back, try and have the knees in line, but the toes are going just behind you. Let's do that way around as well. This is your first option. So weight is going through the right leg. You're lifting up through the upper body, tailbone slightly tucked under. So we're finding that strength through the supporting leg, which is one of the main things with balances, is creating strength in the supporting leg. Great. So from here, in the flow, as we move forward, you can bring your hands either to prayer, or you can have one hand on your hip, other hand out in front in chin mudra, thumb and index finger together. Have a little bend in the supporting leg and just easing forward, sending the heart forward, trying to keep the chest nice and open, gaze straight ahead. And then drawing yourself back up, release the hand, bring that foot back, and we'll just do that on the other side. So weight into the left, taking the right toes behind. Again, try and have the knees in line, so you're not taking the foot right the way back, trying to have the knees in line, weight into that left foot. Rights and lefts, come on Freya, you can do this. So we'll take the hand onto the hip, left hand out in front in chin mudra or hands in prayer, shifting that weight forward slightly, sending the heart forward, so keeping the gaze lifted, keeping the chest lifted, and then bringing yourself back up to center. Fantastic. So we'll move on to your next few options. So honestly, can't get words out today. So we're going to take the weight into our right leg. Again, starting by taking that left leg behind. Lovely. Left hand's going out in front with the thumb pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to take that left arm around behind, lift the left foot and see if you can take hold of the inside of the left foot. So from the side, that's the inside of the left foot. The reason we have the thumb pointing up towards the ceiling is because it helps us keep the chest open, keep that shoulder rotation. If you take hold of the outside of the foot and drop the thumb, you start dropping that shoulder, closing through the chest, then you're not getting that nice heart opener that you get in dancer's pose. Sorry, my mat on the carpet always wriggles up and then it's very hard to balance. So from there, we've taken hold of the inside of that left foot. Again, trying to keep the knees in line and just tuck the tailbone under slightly, shift the hips forward, and you should feel a nice stretch through the front of that left thigh. Standing up nice and tall, you can always find a focus point, a drishti, to help you balance. Now you can stay here, or taking right arm out in front in chin mudra, thumb and index finger together. You're going to shift the weight forward, have that little bend in the supporting leg, push the left foot into the hand, coming forward into dancer. Again, we're trying to keep the chest open, gaze straight ahead, so don't drop the gaze towards the floor. And then inhale, coming back to center, and release that foot. Fantastic. Let's do that quickly on the other side. So weight into the left leg, right hand's out in front, thumb pointing up towards the ceiling, taking that hand round behind, take hold of the inside of that right foot. So again, we're keeping that shoulder lifted, chest nice and open, taking the left hand out in front, staying here if you want. Remember, tuck the tailbone, shift the hips forward to find that stretch through the front of the thigh. If you like, shifting the weight forward, push the foot into the hand. Keep the chest lifted, keep the gaze lifted. Think about opening out through the back of the knee. And then inhale, coming back to center. And release the foot. Fantastic. So hopefully you'll find a version of that works for you within the flow. If not, you're welcome to miss dancer out at the beginning. From dancer, we will then be going into just a little movement where you'll release the foot in dancer and then take the foot out in front, then bend the knee, send it out behind, ready to step back into warrior one. Now, with that pretty self-explanatory, we won't go through it. If you're feeling wobbly, just keep the toes on the mat. So you can just stretch the foot out in front, keeping the toes down, and then slide the foot out behind, and then bend into the knee to take a big step back for warrior one. So it's really about finding, again, that weight bearing through the supporting leg, and you will still be working on your balance, even keeping the toes down. So if you're having a bit of a wobbly day, which we all have, then stick with the toes down. If you're feeling nice and stable on that day, you can have the leg up as high as you like. Up to you. Coming towards a warrior three before you step back. So you can decide when we get to the flow which you prefer. So from there we're going into a warrior one. So standing towards the front of your mat, we're just going to take a big step back with our left foot. Try and have the feet hip distance apart. Bending into that right knee, tailbone tucked under, pushing through the left heel, lifting up nice and tall through the upper body. This is warrior one. Hips facing towards the front of the mat. So you might find your left hip has drawn back a little. Try and draw the right hip back, left hip forward, facing towards that top of the mat. We'll inhale, take the arms out and up. Palms facing, shoulders down. And then we're going to turn the palms to face out, stretch into the space around, bringing the hands together behind the back, interlace the fingers, and we're going to go into something called humble warrior. So you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up through the chest, keeping the gaze straight ahead. Then with an exhale, folding forward, lifting the hands up away from the body. So you're bringing your right shoulder towards the right knee. Doesn't have to go right the way to the knee, but that's the direction you're heading in. But trying to keep the shoulders level. So try not to drop the right shoulder and lift the left, or drop the left and lift the right. Try and keep the shoulders as level as you can. Then inhaling, drawing all the way back up, and release the hands. So we'll try that on the other side. So take a little step forward, and then we'll step back with our right foot. So warrior one on the right. Bending into that left knee. You might find that one side feels quite different from the other. I know when I have my left leg forward, it all feels just a little bit harder. Maybe hard is not the word. It feels a little bit more limited. My movement feels a little bit more limited. So if you find that, don't worry. It's totally normal. So again, tailbone is slightly tucked under, lifting up through the upper body. Really try and push through the right heel. And then taking the arms out and up. Palms facing, shoulders down. Then turn the palms to face out, stretch into the space around. Interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, folding forward. So left shoulder is coming towards the left knee, lifting the hands away from the body. So gaze should be down towards the mat. And then inhale, draw yourself all the way back up. And release the hands. Fantastic. Now our next pose in the flow is Parsvottanasana, which we'll be moving to straight from warrior one. It'll all make sense when it comes together, I swear. So again, your feet are hip distance apart. We're going to step back with the left foot. Now traditionally with Parsvottanasana, you're working towards the feet being parallel, so both toes facing towards the front. However, we'll be coming straight from warrior one, so we're going to have that back foot turned out around 45 degrees, which I think I forgot to mention when we were doing warrior one. So in warrior one, if you don't already know, back foot 45 degrees. So it can also help generally with Parsvottanasana to have that back foot turned out slightly, because it gives you a little bit more balance. Also, if you're feeling a little bit wobbly, have the feet a bit wider. because that will give you a bit more stability, make it easier to keep the hips nice and level. If you end up all on one straight line, you'll find you're feeling pretty wobbly. So from here, we got a few hand or arm options. So you can either have the hands on the hips, which is quite a good way to make sure you're keeping those hips level. So either hands on hips, or you can take the hands behind the back, holding on to opposite elbows. Or if you have the sort of shoulders that are happy to do it, coming into reverse prayer. So holding on to opposite elbows or reverse prayer. Whatever suits you the best. So make sure you feel nice and steady and stable. So our front leg is straight, but without locking the knee out. So just a little micro bend. So you're pulling the muscles up over the knee to help look after that knee joint. Choose your hand position. The inhale, we're going to lift the heart up towards the ceiling. And then coming back to center. And exhale, folding forward over that right leg. So trying to lengthen the body over the leg. Gotta say, I've got really tight hamstrings today from everything I've been doing this week. So I can really feel this. Then we'll inhale, come back up to center. And release the hands, stepping forward. Great. So let's do that on the other side. So stepping back with the right foot. So have that little wriggle around, find the best stance for you. Always, whenever we step back with one foot, try and really push through that foot so you're engaging the back leg. It's quite easy to let that back leg get lazy and the front leg do all the work. So make sure you really push through the heel, engage that back leg, engage the glutes. Choose your hand position. With an inhale, we're going to lift the gaze up towards the ceiling, lift the heart. And then coming back to center and exhaling, folding over that left leg. Woohoo, my left leg is definitely tight. Great, really try and lengthen through the upper body. And then we'll inhale, draw yourself all the way back up to standing. Release the hands and stepping forward. Fantastic. We'll very quickly go through the next bit of the flow, because I think it should be fairly familiar to most of you if you've done much yoga. So we're just going to fold forward, hands down onto the mat, and we'll step back for downward facing dog. So finding your down dog, tailbone up towards the ceiling. Remember, legs don't have to be straight. You can have a good bend in the knees, but really think about finding length through the spine. Have the ears in line with the upper arms, shoulders down away from the ears. And then with an inhale, we'll bring the weight forwards for plank, or you can pop the knees down. That's also an option if downward dog isn't good for you. Instead of stepping back for down dog, you can step back into cat and just do a little cat-cow movement instead. Then stepping the hands forward, elbows tucked in, lowering down onto your front. If you're coming from down dog, either weight forwards to plank, pop the knees down, or again, elbows tucked in, lowering all the way down through chaturanga. From here, we've got cobra or baby cobra. So baby cobra, hands are in front of the shoulders, elbows down on the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest, pressing into the elbows, looking straight ahead. Exhale and lower. If you're doing full cobra, hands are underneath the shoulders, elbows tucked into the sides of the body. Again, squeeze the shoulder blades, use the back muscles to lift as high as you can, and then press into the hands. Again, looking straight ahead, shoulders down away from the ears, hips rooted. Exhale and lower. Fantastic. So push into the hands. We're going to do a kneeling option first for this next bit. So you'll come to tabletop bringing the hands back, so wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We're going to stretch the left leg out behind. Let's see if I have space, room, space. I mixed it all together. Great, so stretching that foot out behind. Then with an inhale, you're going to squeeze that knee in towards you, weight into the right hand, and see if you can step that foot forward. Lovely. It's always an option here as well to bring yourself up to high kneeling and then step forward instead. From here, we're then going to keep the right hand down, reach up with the left hand, looking towards the left hand. That hand then lowers. Either keep the hands down on the mat or sweep the arms up, coming into a crescent lunge. Then we'll pop the hands down. And here you would be stepping back up to the top of the mat in the flow, but instead we'll practice that on the other side. So from kneeling, wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Think about drawing the navel in slightly so you're engaging those core muscles. We're going to stretch right leg out behind. Try and flex the foot, push through the heel. And then inhale, squeeze that knee in, weight into the left hand and step that foot forward. Weight stays in the left hand and we reach up with the right hand, looking towards the right hand. And sweeping that hand down, see if you can draw yourself up into that crescent lunge. Great. Then hands coming back down onto the mat. Lovely. Just to demonstrate quickly, from there in the flow, you will be lifting the back knee and stepping forward up to the top of your mat. But we'll go over that later. Now, you can stick with knees down version, or we'll give it a go from downward dog and coming into a lunge with the knee lifted instead. So bring yourself up into that down dog position. Make sure you feel nice and steady and stable. Have the feet a little bit wider than you maybe normally do. Then we're going to float the left leg up into the air. From here, with an inhale, you're going to squeeze that left knee in and step the left foot through between the hands. Now you can always take a few steps here. It doesn't have to be one smooth movement. You can step it forward, take a couple of steps. You can always help it forward with that left hand. So back knee is lifted, really push through that back heel. Right hand down, reach up with the left hand, looking towards the left hand. Then sweeping that hand down, coming up into your high lunge. Again, really pushing through that back heel, use the back leg. Lovely. Then from here, you'd be stepping to the front of the mat, but we'll go down and do it on the other side. So step back to down dog. We'll sweep the right leg up into the air. Inhale, step that right foot through between the hands. Great. So left hand is down, we're reaching up with the right hand, looking towards the right hand. And then draw that hand down, sweeping up, coming into your high lunge. Fantastic. Pop the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Lovely. Pop the knees down, sit back on the heels, have a little stretch back. Fantastic. So that's all the elements of our flow. So we will now go through and put them all together. Wonderful. So standing at the top of your mat, make sure you've got enough space in front of you so that you can send the leg out in front when we get to that bit. I have sofas in front of me, whichever side I go to, so you'll have to excuse me wriggling around to the side. But when you're ready, come into the front of your mat, Standing, feet hip distance apart. Take a moment, we'll take a breath here just to settle the body. So we'll go through a modified version first, and then we'll go through the full vinyasa. So from here, weight's going to go into the left foot. You're going to take the right foot behind. Lovely. Left hand out in front, right hand on the right hip, easing the weight forward, and we'll take a breath here. Inhale, coming back to center, bring the hands to prayer. Exhale, stretch that right leg out in front. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, slide the foot back, stepping back, warrior one. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale, turn the palms face out, stretch into the space around. Inhale, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, hinging forward, humble warrior. Bring the left shoulder towards the left knee, lifting the hands away from the body. Inhale, draw yourself up, straightening through that left leg. So choose your hand position, hands on hips, holding on to opposite elbows or reverse prayer. Great, we'll take a little bend back, lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, folding over that left leg. Great. Inhale, bend into the knee, pop the hands down onto the mat. Exhale, stepping back, coming to cat-cow. Sending the heart forwards, then round in the back. Lovely. And then step the hands forward a little, bring the weight forward. Exhale, lowering down onto your front. Inhale, coming up into cobra or baby cobra. Exhale, lowering down. Slide the hands back, push into the hands, coming back up to kneeling. Walk the hands back so wrists are underneath shoulders. Lovely. We're going to stretch the left leg out behind, trying to keep the hips as level as you can. Then inhale and step that left foot through between the hands. Exhale, we're going to reach the left hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale, you're going to sweep the arms up, coming up to that crescent lunge. And then exhale, pop the hands down, tuck the back toes, stepping forward, and then draw yourself all the way back up to standing. Lovely. So that's our modified version on one side. Let's go straight onto the other. So our weight's going to go into the right foot. We're going to take the left foot out behind. Left hand on the left hip, right hand out in front. Taking the weight forward and having a breath here. Inhale, coming back to center, hands to prayer. Exhale, stretch the left foot out in front. Inhale, slide the foot back, bend the knee. Exhale, taking that foot out behind you, coming into warrior one. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale, turn the palms face out, stretch into the space around. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, interlace the fingers. Exhale, humble warrior, bringing that right shoulder towards the right knee. Inhale, draw yourself up, straightening through that right leg. Choose your hand position. Exhale, little bend back, lift the heart up towards the ceiling. Inhale, center. Exhale, folding forward over that right leg. Inhale, bend into the knee, stepping back. Pop the knees down. Cat-cow, lift the heart. And then round the back. Take the hands forward slightly, weight forwards towards the hands and lowering down onto your front. Pop the hands down in front of the shoulders for baby cobra or coming into full cobra. Exhale and lower. Draw the hands back, press into the hands, coming back to kneeling. Stepping the hands back so wrists are underneath shoulders. Stretch that right leg out behind. Try and keep the navel drawn in, core nice and strong. And then bend the knee, step that right foot through between the hands. Left hand stays down, right hand reaches up towards the ceiling. Great, sweep the arms up, coming into a crescent lunge. And then pop the hands down, tuck the back toes, stepping forward. And then draw yourself all the way up to standing. Fantastic. Great. So, let's go through the next version. So modify as you need to. Maybe you can modify certain bits and have certain bits as I say them. Make your own, I was going to say Frankenstein's monster of it, but that doesn't really paint a nice picture, does it? Or maybe it does. Make your own version of it. So, standing towards the front of the mat. Take your weight into the left foot. Taking hold of the inside of the right foot. Left hand out in front, coming into dancer pose. Taking a breath here. Inhale, come into center. Release that right foot, stretch the right foot out in front. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, stepping back. Warrior one. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale, turn the palms to face out, stretch into the space around. Inhale, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, hinging forward, coming into humble warrior. Inhale, draw yourself up, straightening through that leg. Choose your hand position. Exhale, little bend back. Inhale, center. Exhale, folding forward over that left leg. Inhale, bend into the knee, pop the hands down. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, weight forwards into plank or pop the knees down. Exhale, keep those elbows tucked in as you lower down onto your front. Inhale, cobra or baby cobra. Exhale and lower. Inhale, tuck the toes, press into the hands. Send the hips up and back. Exhale, left leg going up into the air. Inhale, step that left foot through between the hands. Exhale, reaching up with the left hand, looking towards the left hand. Inhale, draw yourself all the way up, coming into that high lunge, really press through that back foot. Exhale, stepping forward, coming back to the top of the mat. Fantastic. You still with me? So let's go onto the other side. Weight into the right foot, taking hold of the inside of the left foot. Right hand out in front. Shifting that weight forward, push the foot into the hand, taking a breath here. Inhale, coming back to center. Release the foot. Exhale, send that foot out in front. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, stepping back with that left foot. Warrior one. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale, turn the palms, stretch into the space around. Inhale, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, straighten up, straightening through that leg. Choose your hand position. Exhale, little bend back. Inhale, center. Exhale, folding forward over that right leg. Inhale, bend into the knee, pop the hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the weight forwards for plank or pop the knees down. Elbows tucked in as you lower down onto your front. Inhale, cobra or baby cobra. Exhale and lower. Inhale, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back. Exhale, right leg going up into the air. Inhale, step that right foot through between the hands. Exhale, reaching up, looking towards the right hand. Inhale, sweep the arms up, coming into a high lunge. Exhale, stepping forward, going back to the top of your mat. Fantastic. So that is our flow. As I say, I will do another video where we'll just go through the flow without all the explanations. So you can give this a practice, find all the modifications that work for you, and then go with the flow. That's right, I said it. Lovely. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully see you again soon. Om Shanti.